The Papal statues were draped in Yatagaru's clothes and then shot over here. If you fire the arrows from this side, they won't go forward with the statue tied. I don't think I need to tell you that the primitive statues don't support sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? The primitive statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Was it used to shoot the wire across? I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of the crucial fact. It's only crucial because under the belief that the wings are necessary to this equation. Huh? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The primitive statue flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you.
Hold it!
The statues didn't need wings to fly. And how do you explain things? I always look forward to whatever fantastical explanations you come up with.
Hold it!
Of course, I assure you that my hypothesis is firmly grounded in reality. Well, I'm here in this fantasy of desperate men. At times, even reality itself can be a mysterious thing, even if you must admit that. If it's so true, then why don't you go ahead and show me? Mr. Edgeworth. See, I understand what went sailing through the air. Suppose that's because you're an expert at things flying through the air. What do you expect from the second get to garrison? Indeed, the show agent Lang really went soaring through the air. How does it want us to present it?
Hold it!
That incredible scene just happened to have caught on film, resulting in this photo. Ha! What an incredible scene it was. Photos taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? Yes, so I hear. Not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones who sell photos and giant creatures on tablets. Are they implying the Lada took this photo? Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many times in court. But there have been times where those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you had ever stood in a court of law, you would know that it is entirely plausible. Ha! You really believe in that stuff you're spewing right now. Courtroom entirely is a strange place, if that's what you say is true. But there's really something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it.
Hold it!
But are we in agreement that the arrow itself would reach the other side, correct? Just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because everything want to smuggle things were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter Ronald wants from this crossbow is not the statues themselves, whereas something a crossbow can be used to with statues. Okay, okay, so do we present? There we go. This is what I need.
Objection!
There it is. That's the one I needed. Finally. Finally, we have reached the point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Heh, I don't get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. That's exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Coach's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Bobonese Embassy. What you're saying really is really what happened. I can see how the Alabaster's permanent statue could have been moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down 5/5 of the 3rd. Then what about the Bobonese permanent statue? Dr. Allen's photo is clearly flying away from Baba. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor to the Bobonese Embassy. Up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? I can finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Like the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? So, a rotary motion. Yes. I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously. Simultaneously? Get real, the statues would collide somewhere along the line.
Objection!
Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That could work. If you shot an arrow, the two ends of the wire tied in a circular belt can be formed. Langsy says, don't object and call us a success. What is beyond reasonability? They can count the tension difference between the two wires. Top one would sag too much to the point where the statue would collide anyway.
Objection!
Agent Lang. As you know, the primitive statue is a one-of-a-kind natural treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Langsy says, oh. Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mysterious co-conspirator set themselves up in two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was complete, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal, where it can be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid inside the grandfather clock, QED. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still have had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no more hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you got a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of the lengths of wire. It's right here in this very room. It's probably the fan, right?
Take that!
Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. Ha. The last piece of the trick are the two pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to that fact, there is one installed in each of the offices. The ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. But you figured it all out, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot who set up the real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show used to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Balinese offices. The passion flower's support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case. Are we saying it's the ambassador? Don't dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? You can't say who it is. Why don't you present something like you always do? Single point of the finger here. This case will explode into an international incident. However, already know it's too late for me to stop forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now, but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. Or is it just the sticks themselves?
Take that!
Smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked as if they were from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long that the passion flower had time to grow big. That Miss Montgomery didn't even notice the arrows when she visited the room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans, so that the person had a very detailed information on the embassy layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with utmost care. Thus it can only be you, Chorus Alba. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I am certain of what I'm saying, and I'm certain that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result that Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine and focus on this complex trick, I believe we'll finally find the answer to everything.
Take that!
I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been in reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping a real primitive statue for the fake sends a very sharp reason behind such bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador will be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. The most of Costan's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests that this statue once belonged to Babal. So it was smuggled from Babal to Alabas, huh? Why was there a need for them to smuggle it in? Kinda looks like the Steel Samurai, doesn't he? Maybe it's because they look alike he was picked for the Goodwill Ambassador. Suppose it's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Or is it possible to open a statue from this gap in its construction? What? Hurry up and open it, Miles. Right, here goes. Uh-oh. Wow, it really did open up. Hey, this thing fell out. I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. What in the... is this... Hey! Is that what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Somehow, it appears we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabas to begin with. The primitive statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat. The replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide the contraband. After receiving a statue containing a counterfeit plate from China, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into the Master II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at the Master II. Then, in order to frame the Steel Samurai for the murder, covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, you're the leader of the smuggling ring? Nah, my country's in a mess. I don't know at this point. It's all because of you. You're the one who killed the Master II? Answer us. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. Really, though?
Not so fast!
Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who try to pass guilt onto a dead man. It's one thing I'm sure of, that you're the real ringleader, Quadris Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity. You know anything. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but. It is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flippy-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so that I can sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. Yeah, he was playing the whole time. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. You what? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. Without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on the big show to accuse Francisco of the murder. I'm happy I actually I saw that. It's like, no, I think he's playing. He was 100% playing to try to get back into the crime scene. Using Francisca as bait, you were able to gain us entry at investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given me okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such great opening, I thank you. No, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brain of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. One thing I do know about is that itching I'm seeing that old man is getting what tumped.
Oh, you're quite scary when you want to be odd, you.
You were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt on the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged.
Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
Yeah, I don't think it's him. And I don't think it's Manny either. Unless... Could it really be Poleno? Because, like, how can he afford all these handouts for the tourism stuff? Like, that's another thing. Like, how is he able to afford all that? Unless he's using fake money to buy up all the assets needed. Because, like, pretty much of the people left, like, as long as we're assuming no new people are coming in, it has to be Poleno at this point. It has to be. Don't be such a loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity.
Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, I would like to first see this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue.
Objection!
You swapped the real statues that vested in your country as the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything.
It doesn't make sense. Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as a ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? These documents. Trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. What? The card is evidence in the case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follows the path of Manfred von Karma. And I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law? And what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? I partially wonder if it's not time to use it. I feel like there's still so much left. I'm a prosecutor. I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Mr. Edwards, if you don't do anything, Ambassador Alba's gonna get away with it. I know, but...
Objection!
What are you holding back for? The only thing Von Karma should is perfect proof. You really do have what it takes to complete our argument. And there's absolutely no reason not to use it.
Not so fast!
Langsley says, the reason people judge people is because people are people. People weren't born to be chained to the law, but laws were born to protect the people. You're the only one here right now who can put this guy out to pasture. And that's the only way a second or third generation of Zangfa's people will be born. Can you really still hesitate knowing the fate of a nation rests on your hands? There's no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this.
Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life.
It's a directive card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates.
Oh, is that what it is?
This card was sent to the real culprit behind a KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin.
Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession?
Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense and let's be serious, Mr. Edwards. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader?
I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given.
What?
This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident.
The KG-8 incident?
The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence were what will seal your fate.
Oh, very interesting. I must admit I am very curious now. Very curious indeed. These case-decide pieces of evidence you've presented.
Prey, the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time, now stands before me. I can't allow this man who has had free reign for 10 years to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me.
What is this interesting thing you wanted to show me?
The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words would be realized. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directive card from the smuggling ring. This is a section that proves the card was used to relay an order.
Take that!
As you can see, Mr. Kochin is holding the card in his right hand.
I see. The killer was indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. Well, that card and the other one you have. Just because they look the same doesn't mean they are. Does it now?
But there is a very easy way for me to prove that they are in fact one and the same. All we have to do is simply take a look at this. Dark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. Proof that the orders orders on this card were played out in the terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG-8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at the next piece of footage. The car passed by in front of this car passed by the front of the victim's apartment building. It's an official Counterfeit government car.
What?
Detective Gumshoe, could you please magnify the footage? This area is a footage directly links the smuggling ring with Counterfeit.
Take that!
The shape of this pocket, and the directives card in it. It tells us without a doubt this person in the car is Mr. Kochin. The license plate on the car was also captured by the security camera, and was that we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on the day 10 years ago. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Hi.
You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, your claim that I was riding in a car at the time, that is going to be mighty difficult to prove.
No, it's not. Your badge. That badge right on your chest was literally just in that footage.
How so? The Principality of Counterfeit no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period are no longer exist.
The arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces of them.
Are we finished here, boy?
The only weapon I have left to me now is this piece of footage. There must be something here that I can use against him. Okay, now we can do this.
Take that!
What the?
Ambassador Alba.
Yes, what is it?
You were once an army man in the service of Counterfeit. And it was you who made many missions you participated in success, correct?
Why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Counterfeit. But now I'm the only one who owns this particular medal.
In that case, the only person it could be who is sitting in this car is you.
How do you figure that?
By the medal captured in this footage. It's very clear the exact same medal is the one on your chest. This is how it will be. We won't look back. For this is the path I have chosen.
You moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edwards.
Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me?
It's almost looking impossible, isn't it? For the lot of you who have come this far. It looks like I might lose our little game this time.
You might lose the game this time. You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador.
Isn't that a fact? Very well, I've decided to confess and admit my guilt.
You're going to confess?
And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result.
What the?
Regarding the Damascus II murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense.
You're claiming it was justified self-defense.
Damascus II attacked me, and I felt as if my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him.
What a pathetic performance. I'm not giving you one.
I'm not giving you one.
Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times.
If you wish to claim justified self-defense, then you will need some evidence.
It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, then I'll prove it. Men left a mark on me when he attacked. What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this proof is good that it was self-defense. I'm an old man. Sometimes I don't pay enough attention to when I should. But the Master Second didn't have a single weapon on his body. Hold on. It's nothing to get worked up over because I hid the weapon. You hid it? I'm sorry, but as you know, murder's a murder, even if it's self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, so you know how I am an ambassador. This is a weapon you seek. My special bonsai trimming shears. It's covered in blood. He was trembling quite badly during his struggle. That's when he grabbed the shears that was sitting in my office and attacked. See, it was an act of self-defense. No, I don't buy that for a second. Because he showed it me like there's like it was kind of like right here. There's no sign that his jacket's been torn in any way. So how did those shears get through and hit him? Like that doesn't make any sense. Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth?
The explosive wound and the weapon that caused it is enough to declare it so.
No way.
Oh, which reminds me, I guess there's still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, it was all that my secretary was doing. I had no knowledge of what is going on.
Knuckle back!
Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case has been connected to you. The murder to Master II was done in self-defense. In my trials, no man escapes his crime alive. Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there's one very important fact that I think you may have forgotten.
And what is that? We're not on American soil. Technically speaking, we are not on American soil. Two of them figured it out.
That's what you mean. Extraterritorial.
That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastian soil. So any trial that is to be held in will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lang, what's Interpol's stance on this?
Agents investigate, that's our job. Judgment of the people who confess to their crimes. That's the court's job.
I've already confessed to all my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even in your country's soil, therefore. No matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts.
That arrogance, your expression. That's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you already have your own country's judicial system eating out of your hands.
These crimes you will speak so seriously of. To me, they have all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. All of us has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish would be the exchange backdrop of our little game.
These two layers of protection that extraterritorial provides him. Is this why he's one of those who cannot be brought to court?
You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go fetch your eviction papers.
There's nothing we can do.